This is Dave from Amplify, and I'm talking to Violet Orlandi. Is that correct? Did I have that correct?
That is. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And Violet's a person from around the world, so we do publicity all over the place. And I got contacted to have an interview, and I said, "Yeah, why not?" I love talking to people. And then I had a bit of a look into her past, and she's pretty active in a few different ways. So I'm not sure we'll get into a lot of that in this conversation. We may not. But yeah, I was interested to find out some of that. But anyhow, let's. Have you always wanted to be a music artist?
No, not always. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
So
Um,
did you come to music from your we live in the attention age. So, you're doing stuff on YouTube and all that gets attention, influence, etc. Did you come to music from that influence, or did you have music before the influence?
well, I was surrounded by music from a very early age. My mom was the head of a music school, a very famous music school here in São Paulo. My dad is a very successful drummer as well in his own right. So I grew up surrounded by different types of music, and that was always a
W-
blessing. And my mom was always very,
So it was
she would
destiny.
always incentivize me.
It was
Sorry?
destiny. It was destiny.
Well, maybe it was destiny, or maybe I was just predisposed at a very young age, even though it took me a while to figure out exactly what it is that I wanted to do. I was obsessed with great white sharks growing up, so I wanted to be a marine biologist at some point
Boom,
and
boom.
study them.
You watched
Yeah.
Jaws. You watched Jaws too many times.
Oh boy, when you open the door to my house, a Jaws poster is the first thing you see.
Magnificent. Magnificent. All right. So what about the journey? So tell us a bit about this music journey, because obviously we're here and we'll talk about your music now, but you've come from somewhere to somewhere, and you've had to, in your case, you've had to punctuate that by obviously an influence era that you're a part of. So it's not sort of traditional. I think what's traditional these days is a lot of musos do other things. They'll do podcasts and they'll do acting and they'll do other things as well as music, because ultimately we're in the influence age. So you've got to sort of have a profile that gets seen, and you want your music to get seen. So you use different vehicles to get seen. But sometimes it gets a bit difficult because the muso wants to play music and he's got too important as an actor. So he doesn't get to play his music as much as he'd like because everyone's trying to pull him over to be an actor. And I'd say, you might have a similar situation.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I think now we're living in an age where that everything is so oversaturated with content and everybody's doing all types of things. But yeah, I started um YouTube was already quite different when I started off. I was 16 and I think I started taking it seriously only after I turned 18. So I've been doing this for quite some time, like 15, 12 years. And I've always I don't spread myself too much. I don't think like I don't do podcasts. I don't in my although in my let's call it real life, maybe offline life, I do lots of different stuff, but I started doing videos on YouTube. That was what felt right at the time because I was studying songwriting in London, and I felt like I needed a project to keep myself active in music because I noticed that I was relying a little bit way too much on my school deadlines. So I was terrified that after I graduated, I wouldn't have the drive in me to keep doing music because I would notice that people around me would breathe music in a way that I was insecure that I didn't do that for myself. So I started uploading videos on YouTube every week, no matter what, man, no matter what. And it took off like slowly but surely. So I never experienced the that rush of going viral out of nowhere. To me, it was a very steady climb, hard work being paid off by a little bit of a more nuggets of attention here and there. And thank the Lord. this became a steady career, and that's what I've been doing since. And I just released the original album, so
Okay,
it's
so
it has worked so far.
Sao Paulo, or is that how we say it? Sao Paulo, or is it how's it pronounced?
Well, if you want to get like very specific, it's São Paulo.
Okay. Now,
Just
my thought of I understand that, South America is a hotbed of music. Like, you've got Yatra and, you've got all these artists that we don't know in the West all that well, and they've got 50 million followers and 20 million followers, and, they've got stuff going on, madness. And I get the publicity, so I put some of it up because, I'd love to be a part of it. But I also understand that, if we think about Mexico, we think about, TV shows, we think about drugs, we think about guns, we think about, and I know that to people that live there, it's nothing like that, or it is not so much nothing like that, but there are areas, and in other areas, it's the most palatial, beaches and the rich of the rich and all this sort of stuff. So tell us a bit about, what music's like where you are, and how easy it is to connect up, and is it westernized or is it more localized? What happens to music over there?
well, being in Brazil is quite the experience because it is such a big country, and especially even living in São Paulo, calling São Paulo a city feels a little bit unfair because it's more like a country because you literally get a little bit of everything in the same place. So it's very overwhelming. But I've had a very different experience from my peers because my career came to be on the internet, and I understand that I make content in English. I started off that way because I was living in London at the time that I started, and from the beginning I always made the point I didn't want the constraints of country, so I made the decision of making content in English and making music in English so the world could suck it in. But I honestly didn't get to experience the local music scene. One, because I was so preoccupied with the online world, and second, because I never really felt like I fit in anywhere close. So at least I had my own productions and the people that I was connecting with via the internet. And especially now, since meeting my husband and since we joined forces to work together, we are in our own little bubble and we really feel like we don't really fit anywhere. So we don't feel like we're a true part of the local music scene, even in the rock scene or alternative music locally. We're more online people when it comes to the music that we're making right now for the album.
And do they listen to mostly local, like Brazil, South American stuff, or are they listening to Taylor Swift and everything in the world? Is it like a normal global city or global country, or is it predominantly more local?
Man, literally a little bit of everything. Brazilian people are very, very proud of their Brazilian music.
Heritage, yeah.
And yeah, and saying Brazilian music, it just means anything at this point because you get so much of everything. But at the same time, we're also very appreciative of worldly music. And of course, like the top music that we import are from the US and
Yeah, there's a
England
lot.
and a
There's a
little bit
big.
of
There's
other
a,
parts of Europe.
Brazil's a big market, so they tour down there without question
Massive.
because there's money where there's money, people will go, and so but it is a massive market, and I've known that for years because I've been watching all this publicity come out, and I'll say someone's name to someone out here, and they won't have heard of them, and they've got 40 million followers, and you think to yourself, it's a bit like K-pop and J-pop and all that sort of stuff. They're so massive, and yet they only come to your country for the first time, sort of thing, and people don't realise, and they think they're just young people jumping around, and they don't realise what's going on. So it's interesting to find out about all the different places where this happens. How would you describe your sound? Atmospheric sound and cinematic approach. What does that mean?
Well, we're massive fans of cinema, so every time that I sit down to write a song, I find the most inspiration whenever I'm playing one of my favorite movies in the background and I let the feeling of the movie take over and then I'm able to write cool stuff, I feel. And we like big cinematic sounds. We like sound effects as well, so we like to layer our music with little weird sounds here and there. I'm also a big fan of voice acting, so we were able to hire voice actors to be in the album, or I was able to like imitate certain parts of movies that I love and insert that in certain songs. So when I say cinematic, that's more what I mean, not specifically like that big orchestral sound, even though we do have that in the album sometimes as well. But we're just the biggest fans of films in general.
Who are
And
the
I do
artists?
like the dark sounds and everything. Who are the artists?
Who are the artists that influenced you? Because obviously that sort of genre isn't common. You know, it's probably a big influence for people, but they'd probably fit into a, folk pop, rock, they'd probably fit into a genre. You know,
Mhm.
who are the influences that you would say inspire you to create Birdeater?
Oh my God. Number
Eh,
one, it has to be Marilyn Manson. I'm the biggest Manson fan. I
Yeah,
cannot get over him. I do not fangirl over anybody, but I do allow myself to fangirl over Manson. I do like that feeling of fangirling over at least
yeah,
one person. I like that
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
I'm also a huge fan of London Grammar. I adore their music. It always feels like they're talking about the most important thing ever, and it's so hard to understand what they're talking about, which I like. Like it feels like there's a lot of meat on the bone. And other types of influences like I do like Crosses and Deftones, but especially Crosses. I love it so much. I am Yeah, I think those
All right.
were the biggest ones.
Birdeater, just been released. And what's it all about? Describe its origin and evolution.
Well, at the time, a few years back, I would say at the height of my YouTube cover career. I was getting so many views, but I was immersed in a type of music production that was maybe feels kind of bad, but I do describe it as fast food. Like I was just making
McDonald's.
fast production. Yeah, McDonald's, like super highly processed, super fast delivery. And
Not you. It
I w
was you, but it wasn't you. It
no,
wasn't what you wanted to do.
it was not feeding my soul in the slightest. And then I met my husband, and we have very similar sensibilities when it comes to art in general. And when we decided to take on the production of this album that we didn't know what was going to turn into at that time, we made it a point to work with people locally instead of people from across the pond, across the globe. And we wanted to truly focus on quality of performance over recording whatever and then over relying on the post-production, like no vocal processing whatsoever, no tuning, no comping, nothing. Let's just get a good take and that's it, you know? And just have fun playing around with sounds. And that was so good for both of us, especially for me because I was getting a lot of that McDonald's, and I could truly focus on just being in the present with real people that were right there in front of me and just getting a good take in front of the mic. That's it.
I have a problem. I want to do, I've been a conscious guy for 10, 15 years, and I want to do a podcast, and I've wanted to for years and years and years. And I'm too busy doing everything else. I'm too busy running this business and talking to people and. So you must have gone through, when you're going through that YouTube period where you're providing outcomes for all these people that are turning up, these fans and the audience. It must be hard to write at the same time because you've got to try and fit in. It's busy, and usually busy is almost full when it's that busy, and you're trying to write and create something on the side, it must have taken some time to get there.
Well, yeah, like the making of the album took 4 years, which sounds surreal to say, but that's the amount of
Too
time it
busy.
took, and we are extremely busy people, man.
Yeah, no, I understand
And
that. I understand that. And
we don't like
it's
to
not,
rush things.
it's easy to sort of say do what you love, but when you love everything, you might discern about YouTube stuff not feeding the soul, but you loved it still because basically it's still you. It's still you and where you came from and your production and you're serving the public. It's just not in the area
Absolutely.
that you really wanted. So
Yeah.
the dichotomy is that you still love not doing the album, but you want to do the album. You've got to try and fit it in and get to that sort of spot. What are the signature tracks on the album? Which are your
The
favourites?
signature tracks.
Yeah, which are your
My
favourites?
favorites, oh Lord. I think DTP sounds the most different, and I do appreciate that song a lot. I love the solo. The solo of that song, it's literally three solos being played at the same time, but in reverse. And we just loved the way that it sounded. And for DTP, I took a lot of inspiration from the music that David Lynch was making with his musical partner. I totally forget his name. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, I know who you're
But
talking
in
about.
Eraserhead, there is a part where the happy girl sings a song to the main character where she says, "In heaven, everything is fine. You got your good things and I got mine." And it took me like months to write the bridge for DTP because nothing was coming to me. And then finally, David Lynch descended and he was like, here's the bridge to your song inspired by my movie
Thank you very
Eraserhead.
much.
I was very
Thank you.
blood. Thank you. Yes, that was great. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So obviously you're doing something to play it live. But do you do many live gigs or you don't? Because you've obviously been in the studio all the time. Do you live perform?
I do, but not for under like my name, like Violet Orlandi is not performing live at the moment. Um, it's 8 months ago, my husband and I decided to take on this new adventure, and we opened a music venue here in our city, which has been a drama film, but it has been super fun, and we keep ourselves very busy with that. We do have like a band for hire, and we play there with this band 3 times a week, and it is amazing, an amazing feat to keep ourselves sharp and like amazing performance and super tight. That's really cool. So under my name, I play at our bar once a month where I take my weekly stream to the bar. So it's half meet and greet in front of real people and half stream with the people from across the globe. So that's a hot spot
So
of
what are you going to
performance
do
for
with the
us.
album? How are you going to launch the album there or are you going to tour the album? What are the events and what are you going to get connected to from that perspective? You don't need to probably.
I don't think we need to, although it would be the most amazing thing ever. I would love, love to tour, but we are the most independent musicians ever. We don't have managers, we don't have booking agents,
You don't need them.
nobody besides the two of us. And it's close to impossible to tackle a whole tour with no bigger team surrounding you. So maybe that's something that we can talk about in the future. But right now, we're so comfortable with our local music venue, with the streams. I'm able to connect with everybody from across the globe. So maybe we can talk about that definitely.
No,
But
they had
like a
we-
cherry on top.
we've got AC/DC playing here, and in one of their presses, they had all the people that are coming, and 300 tons of metal, and so many planes, and hundreds of people, and background, and all this sort of stuff just for the tour. So I understand what you're saying when you say to go on tour, it's an event. But you fortunately though, basically. My view is there's the moment and your collaboration with it. So basically, you don't need anything that anyone else has because you can just stay in your own space and meditate all day and you can have a full life. So, that's the
Yeah.
Mandela principle. So then if you take it from that perspective, you don't need to take Birdeater anywhere further than where you are because basically everyone's going to see it anyway. They're going to see it online. They're going to see it in the venue, etc. And people can come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, why don't you come over here and do that?" And then once you've got people asking you to do stuff, you usually have control. One of the difficulties of touring or having all these other people is you lose control because they all have relationships and they're all trying to make money from other places. So they get you into deals that aren't necessarily the best thing for you. And,
Hmm.
got a big history of that. So you'll be playing it at your venue. You'll be launching it at your venue, or you've launched it already, I presume. You've already played it. Have you played it in full?
I have not played the album live in full.
Do you plan
Um,
to?
we don't have any solid plans, but we do have ideas if we should do like a more conventional live release of the album. And most likely it's going to be at the Raven, our bar.
Well, it makes sense in a sense because that cinematic sort of process. You could think like a Spielberg and say, what can I put on to bring this album out and capture who I've been for years anyway, because you've been that entertainer for years, and do it with my unique stuff rather than other people's stuff. So I encourage you to do so because I think it'll be interesting to see, especially to see what you do with it, because I think there's a lot of people that probably like what you do with stuff. If you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would it be?
Marilyn
Alive.
Manson, man. Marilyn
Marilyn
Manson
Manson,
all
that's it.
day, every day.
He's been
I
around for
could
a long
die
time. He's been around for a long time now. You must have,
He has been around for a long time. He has made a comeback, and we have talked a little bit. The happiest day of my life. A couple of years back, my husband and I, we produced our own rendition of Marilyn Manson's song "Man That You Fear," accompanied with an amazing music video, if I do say so myself. We took inspiration from the Greek myth of Prometheus, which is also one of my favorite movies ever, The Lighthouse. We had a live eagle eating my organs. Amazing. So I sent it to Manson and he responded saying, "It's beautiful. Thank you so much." So I'm like,
there you go,
I
man.
can't die. I'm a happy person now. Thank you.
Well, well, you don't need to die yet because there's probably more things that can come. And long-term aspirations. What are some long-term aspirations then as a music artist? What
Long-term aspirations is just to more and more be recognized for
your
my
music?
original work. My original music, yes. I understand that having had such a long career in the cover world, it's a little bit hard to let go. And it's not that I want to let go, but I do want to make people more interested in the
You know,
original music because
you don't have
that's
a
where most of the love is at.
you don't have a yearning to be Freddie, Live Aid, half mic, 500,000 or whatever number of fans you've got there and wave. No,
Well, if it happens, then
you
abso-freaking-lutely.
could do it.
But
You could do what was that movie with Gaga? A Star Is Born. You could do a Star Is Born sort of thing with Manson on stage, and you could come from the side, and you'd obviously you'd know the words.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that would blow people's minds away for sure.
All right.
Everybody who knows me knows that I'm the biggest Manson fan. So if that
One
ever happens,
one question I've got that I think is important is advice. You've obviously, because you've come through like the influence era is all about people trying to make, YouTubes and all this sort of stuff. And most of the time, they're not making it necessarily, they're making it creatively, but they're not necessarily making it, it's like an OnlyFans sort of thing. It's like I'm just going to turn up and flash my tees or my bum or something or other and get people coming or dance or something like that. It doesn't have meat. And obviously, you've got meat on yours. And so, what advice would you give to a music artist that's turning up today with all the nuances of today's world and streaming and all sorts of stuff?
man. Well, you're in
Oh,
it for a ride, definitely. I think the thing that was the most valuable, the thing that was the most valuable tool for me to learn was that unfortunately or fortunately, you have to practice as many skills as possible so you can be as independent as possible. Even if your goal is to sign to a big label, maybe further down the line, whatever it is, but you have to be your own writer, you have to be your own makeup artist, you have to be your own cameraman. If you're able to do some of those things well, you're gonna have such an easier time because the more you rely on other people, oh my God, that's when it starts getting a little bit hard, I think. And the more stuff you're able to do yourself, I think that's when you get the most eyes on you as well.
Sure.
Like people nowadays, even big labels, they're looking for a finished material. They're not looking for a
But
raw Elvis.
and
I don't think
collaborate.
so.
Find yourself
Yeah, collaborate
collaborate because basically you'd be a different person today without your partner.
for sure. Yeah.
So
If you're able to
as
find
much
people
as
that
you were
connect to
doing your
you,
own thing and having success with it, you've become a different person with the collaboration. And I think that that's in today's music world, there's so much music, 100,000 songs a day coming out on Spotify. You can't just think you're going to do it on your own. You've got to do it either with people or you've got to do it with a gimmick or with some sort of something that's going to separate you. So usually it's a collaboration that helps because someone's made it, you're a support, you get friendly and you get exposed to new audiences, etc. Work hard. That's what you've done all the time, isn't it? Work hard.
yeah, I mean, there's no escaping. The work has to be done. You have to put your head down and just get to work. The good thing about this age is that now more than anything, it's just so easy to connect with huge, huge people. Like in what world would I be able to message Marilyn Manson and get a
No,
response?
no, that's true.
You
That's
know?
true. That's true. That's true. I'm talking to those people all the time with interviews, and people ask us, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm talking to people that I've known for 40 years. I grew up with, and they're sitting on the other end. They're about to, I was talking to Psycho Mike from Suicidal Tendencies, and Metallica were a support band for them originally. So, you've got people that know everybody, and then I was sitting talking, I won't say who, but I interviewed someone, and they're huge, huge people, and he couldn't sit down to talk. So he had to walk around the park with his phone in his hand because he couldn't have a conversation. So everyone's got a different nuance too, some mental stuff, all this sort of gear. Everyone's normal. So as soon as you think someone's a superstar, I spoke to Diesel yesterday, who's an Australian artist, around for 40 years. The sweetest person. Like they've been on stage with everybody. As you get older, you get more conscious. I think that's another thing. It's a great industry, but you've got to protect yourself because all the majors they're in it for the money. So don't think that they're in it to help you along because they're not. Okay, let's finish with some the banal questions. What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Craziest thing I've ever done?
Yeah, maybe you can't tell me because it's not legal. I don't know.
Lord, you're putting me on the spot. I'm not going to be able to remember any crazy thing that I've ever done, but
We think about it. Come back
the
to it.
craziest feeling that I've ever gotten. It was like the first couple of months that I was in London, I was out with my friends, and for some reason, I can't remember why, I had my guitar with me, and we were coming back home. It was like in the like 3 a.m. or something. We were on one of those red buses on the second story, and they asked me to play a song. I think we were a little bit drunk, and I decided to play, of course, Hey Jude. Like, I'm in London,
Oh
I'm
my
in a red
God.
bus, I'm gonna play Hey Jude, and I swear to God, everybody in the bus started singing along with me and like clapping along, and I'm like, this is insane. A little 17-year-old me. This is my life now.
It's very, but it's very, that's a very good story. I love it because
It's sweet.
it's very, everybody wants to be a part of goodness, but they just get taken away by, their values are sort of bought by, the money people and, they get lost for a period of time. What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Film. Talk to me about any movie ever, and we can talk about it all forever,
Oh, well,
forever, forever.
that's another interview. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
About myself. I do like how open to new experiences I am. I'm crazy.
I think you come across to me as being someone that's pretty strong. So I think that you've got a purpose, and when you're focused, you make sure you get that thing achieved. Okay, here we go. These can be all time or they can be now. Favorite album?
Favorite album?
Yeah,
Fuck.
I haven't heard that album. Fuck, is it a? It's a new album, is it?
It's great, isn't it?
People hate these questions.
The- I hate these questions. The Pale Emperor,
Okay.
Marilyn Manson.
Well, favorite artist we know, so we don't need to do that one. Uh,
Mm-mm.
Here we go. This is up your alley. Favorite movie? It's like you've got six kids and someone says, "Which one do you like best?"
It's awful. It's awful.
There must be one
Well,
that sticks out. There must be like a sound of music that you cry to, or there must be something that sticks out that you watch or you've watched a number of times or something.
then let's go with The Lighthouse. It's in black and white. It's a little bit funny. It's a little bit dark. And it's weird.
I don't know the lighthouse. What is the lighthouse? Is that a? I'm gonna
Robert
watch it.
Pattinson and Willem Dafoe stuck in an island together, and there is a mermaid.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not
10
a
out of
big
10.
I'm not a big Patterson fan just because of where he started and that whole sort of, I was an
Oh,
old
but that's
man when
his
I,
redemption.
well, I'll watch it. I'll
That
watch
dude
it.
is the weirdest of the bunch.
Favorite place to visit?
My bar,
It's a good place. No problem. Favorite venue to play? Same answer.
the bar, the
But
Raven.
the Raven. The Raven. What's the address? So for people that might hear this, that you put it out to?
São Paulo, Vila Madalena, Rua Wizard, 149.
Okay, so if you're visiting, go see it. If you're not and you're local, go see it. Favorite food?
Ooh, pho, that Asian soup. Delicious.
What's it called?
It's called pho. It's spelled Pho. Pho.
Oh, Favorite drink?
Ooh, tomato juice with lots of spices and a celery stick.
Oh my God, man, you're weird. Favorite person in history, apart from me?
In history,
Yeah,
apart from you and my husband, producer.
yeah, yeah. No, you can be your husband, or everyone says someone
Oh,
different
okay,
because
great.
some
Doesn't
people
have to
have.
be someone.
It can be your husband, absolutely. It can be anybody.
Okay,
It's your answer.
that's him.
This is your interview.
That's him.
That's good. And last but not least, you look like you're a clean skin. No, you're not a clean skin because you've got a tattoo on your arm. I saw. Favorite tattoo.
Clean skin.
Favorite
Skin.
your favorite tattoo.
My favorite tattoo, this one.
Ah, here we go. And
A
what's on
new life
your
awaits you in the off-world colonies from Blade Runner.
Blade Runner? Harrison. Wacko, hey? All right, that's it, man. That's it. We'll have to catch up again. I'm going to do some conscious podcasts and all that sort of stuff because I'm interested. I'm interested. Obviously, there's a whole range of different things that happen in your journey, and one of them is about a lot of people don't focus on their journey. They focus on their external, what their conditioning has led them to and they're doing. They don't focus on their being. And when you actually get into it, that being, what dad was doing, what mum was doing, what you were doing as a kid, what you saw and why you went, because at 17, to do YouTubes. I know Bieber did it when he was a kid, but it's not a normal thing because, most normal people hide for a period of time until they feel that they're strong enough to go out and exhibit. And you're exhibiting early. You've got a purpose to the exhibition because basically what exhibition does is it sets you up to be challenged, it sets you up to be judged. And a lot of people don't like to be judged, so they hide from the judgment. But not you. You were out there, being judged. And if you know
Mhm.
social media, like we all know social media, a lot of people can be very nasty. They don't come back and all say, "Oh, that was fantastic." They're coming back, especially early when you're not known, because they don't have to. There is a lot of support all the time, obviously, but it's not so much the
Mhm.
support that you look at sometimes; it's the people that punch you in the head. So, I'm interested to find out, some of that because behind the veneer of this, strong, solid woman who's got a partner and they're making records and they've got YouTube followers and they've got a bar. There's probably someone there that I can get crying in 10 minutes as she sort of expresses inner secrets. Maybe, maybe not. Anyhow, so we've got Birdeater. Birdeater, go out and buy Birdeater. When did it come out? What day?
October 31st, Halloween.
So it's brand new. So go out and buy Birdeater, watch Birdeater. What are we watching? What are we looking for online?
Bird Eater.
No, but what about you? If they're following you, if they want to check out some of what you've done,
Well, you can just check out all of my socials, Violet Orlandi, on Instagram, YouTube. Watch all of our crazy music videos for Birdeater and for our covers too. They're quite fun.
go
Live
look at
stream every Monday and every Wednesday.
live stream every Monday and Wednesday. Okay, that's it, man. Thank you very much. Namaste. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And,
You too.
I don't think I'll ever get over there these days because I'm too tired to even go up the street. So, Brazil seems like it's a mad place. It's a mad
It
place.
is.
And
It
I think
is.
I think that, a lot of people, it gets a lot of bad press, I think, from all the, drug cartels and all this sort of stuff that they talk about. And it's a pretty normal, it's a busy place, obviously, but it has normal people like you and me. Thanks, mate. All the best.
Thank you so much. You too.
Bye.
Bye.